Hi folks, welcome back to the third video in Law of Cosines, or 7.2. So we're going to continue in with our mixed practice, all right, where we're just trying to see, is it law of sines, is it law of cosines, how do we know? And we're going to start with example 3 here with our regular strategy, which is draw yourself a triangle. Okay, so let's label our triangle. We've got this is 25 feet, we've got this as 47 feet, and we've got little c as 58 feet. All right, so folks, this is such a classic law of cosines situation because we have side, 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 okay? So this one is definitely asking us to use our law of cosines. But again, I'm going to set up law of sines so you can kind of see why I wouldn't use that one. So if I set that up, I get sine A over 28 equals sine B over 47 equals sine C over 58. Not a full pair. None of them are full pairs. So I'm going to look to use my law of cosines. And when I use my law of cosines, I really like to find the biggest angle first. So I'm going to go ahead and find angle C because it's opposite the longest side. So find angle C. Now that means that I'm going to have to do C squared on one side because I want to finish with cosine C. So c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine c. All right. So again, we have to have the letter on that side matches the angle at the very end. All right, so let's fill in our numbers. 58 squared equals 28 squared plus 47 squared minus 2 times 28 times 47 times cosine C. So as a strategy, I like to turn all the squares into numbers. Okay, so 58 squared is that. But sometimes I go ahead and I combine those two right off the bat. So 28 squared plus 47 squared is going to give me 2993. Minus, then I take these three and I multiply them. So 2 times 28 times 47 will give me 2632 cosine C. Now remember, this is where most students make their mistakes. You're not going to combine those two, okay? Don't do that. But instead, you're going to take your 2993 and you're going to subtract it to the other side, and then you're going to divide by that, all right? So 3364 minus 2993 will give me 371 equals negative 2632 cosine C. I've got two last steps to find C. So I have cosine of C equals, let's divide those. So negative 371 over 2632. Okay. And now I'm going to use my calculator to find my inverse cosine. So 371 divided by 2632. And I'm going to get 81.897 degrees for angle C. Okay? So I've got one angle. Now I could find the other angles by using law of cosines, but this process is a little bit long. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use law of sines to help me find angle B and angle A. Okay, so let's go in alphabetical order. No other reason really, but let's find angle A. So I'm going to start off with sine A over 28 equals sine of my angle C, which is 81.897 divided by little c, which is 58. Okay, So again, I'm just taking the information I found for angle C, which makes this one a full pair, and using it to help me find the other angles. So I'm going to cross multiply. 58 sine A equals 28 sine 81.897. I'm going to divide. And let's see what decimal we get. Okay, so sine of A equals 28 sine 81.897 divided by 58, and that gives me 0.4779. All right, and when I find my angle A, I inverse sine that, and I get 0.4779. I'm going to get an A of 28.551 degrees. Okay. So once you found the second angle, all right, once you found that second angle, you can use 180 minus the other two to find the third angle, right? So be smart about what you do in the sense that you want to be efficient with your work. So I'm going to find angle B, I'm going to do 180 minus 81.897 minus 28.551, which will give me 69.552 as my angle B. Okay. Sorry, this keeps freezing on me. Very frustrating for me. I'm sure it is for you as well. But I've gone ahead and found a very classic case of law of cosines, right? The sine, sine, sine. And so I use law of cosines once. Then I use law of sines. And then I'm able to shortcut it and just do 180 minus those two angles to find the third angle. All right, let's move on to example number 4, see what we have. So I'm going to set up my triangle. All right, and then just for kicks, let's switch around the order. We'll get 87.2 degrees for A, 74.3 for B or C, and then little b is 75.9. All right. Now, let's see if we have enough information to use law of sines. So sine 87.2 over little a equals sine of b over 75.9 equals sine 74.3 over little c. So not a full pair, not a full pair, not a full pair. I could go ahead and find angle B though, because I have angle A and I have angle C. So let's go ahead and do that. So number 1, find angle B. All right, and so angle B equals 180 minus 87.2 minus 74.3, which will give us angle B is a very small angle, 18.5 degrees. All right. So now that we have angle B, we actually do have a full pair. So let's go ahead and use that to find little a and little c. Okay. So step 2, we're going to find little a. And again, I just like to do that because it's alphabetical, but that's my own quirk. You can find it in whatever order you want. So sine of 87.2 over little a equals sine of 18.5 over 75.9. Cross multiply. And divide. And turn it into a decimal. All right, so I found a little a. It's actually not feet, that's my bad. It is yards, so you want to make sure your units are correct there. All right, so we found angle B, we found little a. Now our last thing is to find angle C. So number 3, let's find little c. So I'm going to start off the same way where I use my angle B, which is my full pair, and set it equal to sine of 74.3 over little c. Okay? And pretty much we're going to do the same process. So I'm going to cross multiply. And I'm going to divide. And I'm going to put into the calculator. So we have a little c of 230.278 yards. All right, so this gives us a good snapshot of how to use law of cosines. All right, now we could have used law of cosines here as well, and we would have gotten the same answer. But again, for me personally, I kind of feel like law of sines is a little easier, so I try and use that whenever I can. Okay, we're going to stop here for this part of the video. Come on back for a couple more examples where we again practice our decision making. Is it law of sines or is it law of cosines? All right, see you there.